Okay, so now it's time to tackle the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layer tetrahedron. I guess they dispensed with fancy names for them. They just call this the 6th layer. So this has a lot of features that are similar to the 4 layer in that it's an even layer puzzle. So you can see these little areas here are actually internal pieces, which is interesting because if they've got the 6th layer, they can get the 7 layer. They just haven't mass produced it. All they would have to do is bring this out. So I actually look forward to the 7 layer. I actually do have a 7 layer right over here. Kind of nice little shape. This has more of the classic Jing's pyramids look to it, which I'm glad they're straying away from and trying to get more to the flattened shaped look of the 6th layer. This is not mass produced yet. I could go through a solve of this one, or maybe I'll wait until they actually come up with a mass produced version of it. But really the strategy is the same, and I would say this is even easier than this. But let's go ahead and scramble this up and go through the solve of this. Now, we were correlating the cubic version and the octahedral versions. There is no such version, cubic version here. We have the SKEWB, but the other higher order versions of the SKEWB don't really map out to this puzzle. So anyway, the algorithms are the same, really. So I would refer back to those tutorials. But it's mostly going to be strategy. It's mostly going to be placement and reduction, because we're going to reduce all of these to this guy over here, the 3-layer tetrahedron, or the Jing's pyramids, however you want to call it. Okay, so bringing this out over here. Okay, so not bad. There's that scrambled version. Now, if so requested, I'll scramble this and solve it, or maybe I'll wait until it's mass produced. Because the thing is, the cubic version of this is mass produced, which is this guy over here. And I would say that this maps out completely to this puzzle here. So we've got these moves, which can map out to the center here, and all these that are around it, or it can map out to this corner piece over here. Same number over there. So if requested, I'll go ahead and do this one as well. But let's try our hand at this. Okay, so the first step is to get our centers in, but we're going to want to coordinate the edges here, the corners here rather, to see how to coordinate our centers. Because if we do that now, then we won't run into issues with parity, and the process of putting these together is just too much to really quickly deconstruct and reconstruct it. So what I'll do is I'll start off with the green corners. Here's a green corner here, another one here, and you can see that lines up, that maps out over here, and I'll put that over here too. Okay, so these are all in. So this is the green side, and this is already in here. So this is green. I'm going to put the blue one down here because I'm just so used to the blue being opposite green. Well, this isn't exactly opposite, but if this is in the front of me, this is below, so it's close enough. So green will be here, blue will be here, and red will be just to the right. If I can remember that configuration, then I should be okay. So the first thing is to get the green one in, and I'm going to fill in these areas here first, and then fill in this line and that line. So these two are in, so what I want to do is move these in here. Now I'm going to break up my corners, but that's okay, they serve their purpose. So let's find a way that we can move 2 into here, and there's 2 of these pieces here. So maybe I can coordinate that here, move that in, and just for the sake of perspective, coordinate it back. So these are all in, and now we're going to go ahead and put in this line over here. And I'm going to construct them off-site in a different workspace here. Let's see what we've got so far. Okay, I'd like to put one here, so I've got this piece over here. I'd like to put one over to here, and let's find a piece that's like that. Well, there's this. Does this map to it? Well, if I turn it like so, boom, it does. Now I want to put a piece into here, so let's see what maps to this. Maybe this piece over here, and yes. Okay, so I've got this line here, and I'm just going to slide it into here. Now I'm going to slide this piece this side here. So really it's just a matter of placing them. Okay, so this is going to match with here somewhere. Okay, so that is over to here. What maps out to here, and that's going to be these pieces. So I'm going to move this in. Now by moving that in, it took something out. Oh, nope, it sure didn't. Okay, so now I put the last one in, and that's going to be way down here. Okay, I'm just going to move this into place here. Okay. Move this over to here. Okay, now that I've got these at two different layers, I'm going to try to slide this one into this spot, and I can. I'm going to slide it into here so this is in. Move it out of the way. Now I slid this one out, but that's easily placed, and this is put back in. Okay, so this center is in. Now the blue one I believe is down here. If I lost sight of that, it's worth just kind of mapping it out there. Here's a green. Well, actually, okay, let's get our greens back in here again, just so that I don't lose sight of what I'm doing. Okay. So let's move this green into here. This is our side. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay, this just puts this here. Now I got to put the blue one here. Once I do that, I've got the puzzle coordinated. I can remember this is up here and this is down over here. So once again, I'm going to start moving in what I need to move in over here. I've got this tip over here. This tip is over here too. I can move, oh actually, nope. So that would have been a horrible mistake because I would think this is the blue, but in reality, it's got to match up with this. So let's move this into place. If I put the blue here, I'd end up with this rotated wrong. So this has to be in, so now this is the blue. Okay, fair enough. So this will, I'll have to slide this in. Now I can move across this plane and not mess up this center over here. So I'm going to try to find within this plane, move 2 into here, and there's these 2 over here. Boom. Okay, so just to reiterate, I've got these in. Now it's just a matter of moving these lines in. Most of this is already in, so let's move this out so that I can find one that maps onto here. 1, 2, 1, 2. And that's this. So the fun thing about this is that unlike the cube or the dodecahedron, it's not so cumbersome loading these centers because there's not too many of them. Okay, next we do this. We have a couple to map on to here. So let's see. Okay, this can maybe find a nice home over here. Now we do this one. This is going to move in through the center, so I think this can map onto it. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, and this comes in here. This was knocked out, but that's easily found. Oh, I think. Yeah, not sure how that happened. Okay, so green and blue. I know red goes here. So now we're just going to exchange these. Now I invite you not to do algorithms with this one because there's so few actual intuitive just kind of playing around with it, so I would welcome you to do that. Now the ones to put in, these are particularly easy. It's these pieces here that might take a little bit of doing. So let's map this one onto here. And what that's going to be is I can move this in through the middle like so. Okay? So this layer moved independently to put this in. Now I'm going to move this to another layer, which is over here. This is what I call the sliding U technique. Now move it out from this perspective. Now we move it back, and this middle layer we move back in here. Move this back down, slide it back down to here again, and move this back in. So in that way, these are where I want them to be. Okay, now I put these in as well. So let's see, I've got most of these. Move this here, turn and back. I'm going to move this in, turn this here, so these two are paired, and move this back. Okay, to move these guys in, it's actually easier because this can be in one of 2 layers. These middle ones will always be in these middle layers, but this can be a middle and an end layer. So what I'm going to do is take this, move this into this space, turn it down here, move it down from this layer. Move it up to the previous layer, or slide the over here, move this layer back, slide this back over here, move this layer back. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with these. So this is going to slide into here from this middle layer. Now that I've created this, I'm going to turn this across here and slide it down in this end layer. I'm going to slide this back up here, reconstitute this middle layer, slide this back over here, and reconstitute this layer. Okay? Finally, we do this one, which is over here. Move this in position, slide it in this layer, creating this last layer, slide this over here, move this last layer out, slide this back, the middle layer in, slide this back over here, and move this in. Okay, so in that way we have the final two centers. Now just to be on the safe side, let's just put these corners in and see what we've got. Okay, matching these corners, matching this over here, and let's match the corner over here. Now what we're going to find is either everything is where they need to be, or they can be switched with two. So where does this go? This goes here and this goes here. So these two can swap and they'll be in the right place, so we don't have to go any further as long as these two can swap. If this swaps here but this doesn't map to this area, then it's wrong. Okay, so from there it's the simple process of edge reduction. So blue and green is over here. So let's move this to a space where this can, well, actually over here. We don't want to move it like this. We want to move a separate layer. This is going to knock out the red and green, so let's find the red and green and put it here. If you don't find it here, it's probably here, which it is. This is upside down, it's got to be up here. So we're just going to move this across and bring it down, and that's where it needs to be. So, move it in, so this is in, down, down, up, up, and move it back. So these are reduced. What I'm going to do is keep reducing the inner two over here. So let's see. Red and green is here, or yellow and green rather. So that's going to slide into here. Here's blue and yellow. See if we can find the blue and yellow here. Oh, right, yep, right over here. So we're going to slide that in, down, down, up, up, and slide it back. Okay, so we should have all the center, oh, nope, not quite. Okay, now when we have two left, we have to take a third one out, so I don't want to reduce this here yet. Let's put this to where it's going to knock this guy out. So let's turn this upside down. So this will knock this out, and then we'll take this one out too. So put this in, it does not reduce it, down, down, up, up, and this comes back. Okay, so now when I move this back down here, what I need to do is turn this one upside down. So move it across and back. So this red is where this is supposed to be, so this is going to come up here when it's moved out. So move it down, 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 up, up, and move it back. Okay, now I've done all these centers, these central edges. Now we're going to finish with this. So this should come over to here. So we're going to come across here and up. So this will come over to here. I'm looking for the blue and red. Can't find it here, and that's because it's here, so can't use it anyway. So down, 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 up, up, and up it goes. Might as well finish putting this one in. So blue and green. Okay, there. That's going to come over to here, and this is going to be the blue and yellow. Find the blue and yellow. The blue and yellow centers, and that's actually going to be here. So this is going to be correct. So move it down, 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 up, up, and this comes up. Okay, so this is fully reduced, and now we're working on fully fully reducing the rest of them. This is going to come into here, so we'll position it. This will go to here, green and yellow. This yellow should be green, so let's turn it upside down. Down, 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 up, up, and up. Okay, so let's finish this one here, and that will finish with this guy over here. So we'll turn him over here. Whoop, did that wrong. And this will come up over here. Okay, so this will come down to here, bumping out the red and yellow. That's this one, but it's upside down, so we just right side up it. And we go down to fully reduce this. Down, down, up, up, and bring this back. Okay, so it looks like we're almost reduced, but we have this issue here. Now this would have been a parity had it not been for these ones. We still might get a parity, but this is wrong. And all the rest, well, this is wrong too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a sacrificial lamb of something down here. Let's knock this out. Down, down, up, up, and bring this back. Okay, what I'm going to do is place what's supposed to be here. So this comes over to here. Oh, I put that in wrong. Okay, this will come over to here. This will come here. And we'll knock this one out. So down, 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 up, up, and splat. Okay. Whoop. Something didn't go exactly right, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is knock this one out here. Down, down, up, up, and put this back. This is fully reduced, this is fully reduced. We just have these over here. Okay, I'm going to knock this green one out and substitute with this one. Or actually substitute with this one. So put it in, down, down, up, up, bring it back. So now we should have 3 with just 1 left to go, and we do. So this will come here. We have to turn this upside down, so we will. And now this red and green will pop into here. So we go down, 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 up, up, and this comes back in. Okay, so now we have a reduced Jing's Pyraminx. The question is, did we put these in correctly? We got the centers where we need these to be, but maybe these aren't. These acted as the centers, but maybe they were put in not so good. Okay, so let's get the corners in and see what mess we've made. Okay, this goes to here and this goes to here. So this is in, and now with this in, we're going to put in these edges. So this is the orange and yellow, green and yellow rather. This is going to go here, turn, turn, turn. Green and blue is going to go here, so move it to the side. Bring this corner down, match this edge in here, bring the corner up. Finally, the red and blue, bring this corner down, match this edge in, bring it up. So this side is done, and now we see where things are at here. Let's move this corner where it's supposed to be. And what I'm looking to see is where things are here. This isn't in, this isn't in. What's interesting is this is in, but it's upside down. So basically we have 1 upside down and 2 that are out, which is interesting. So it looks like these 2 need to be swapped, and these 2 need to be upside down. And this needs to be upside down. So it's an interesting kind of a parity here. But let's put one in that's right side up. So this is going to be able to slide into here. So I'm just going to do the R, U, R, I, U, R, U, R, I. Okay, you can see this is in, and these two need to be swapped. And you can't do a swap, so we do have a parity here. In order to get out of that parity, we're going to do our algorithm to sort of swap these. So let's see, what needs to go where? Well, this needs to go here. Yeah, actually this needs to go right up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these two down. I'm now moving it like that's like it's this puzzle here. So move this down over here. And I need to move this into this spot. So I'm going to move this here so it can participate in the algorithm. This to here, these to here, and these to here. But I've got to do it twice. Or better yet, I can just move this down over to here. So this to here, this to here, this to here. And the way this is going to work is we're going to go up with these two, down, down, up, and then down with these two, and then down, up, up. Okay, if I wanted to get my bearings, and I recommend that you do, we'll move this back, and we'll move this back as well. So now you can see where things are going. This is where it needs to be. So now this needs to go where this is, and this needs to go where this is. So how are we going to do that? Well, what I'm going to do is we're going to do a D move, and then we're going to do a U move. Bearing in mind that this needs to go where this is. A D move, where this is going to end up over here, and then a U move, like so. And to get it back, I'm going to do a UIDI. So this needs to go where this is. So this, what I'm going to do is position this down to here to do the algorithm. And again, I'm moving these two together, pretending like they're this collective edge here. So it's up, down, down, up, and down, down, up, up. Okay? We could move this back easily here, and now we do a U, actually do a U and a D. Okay, so it's the same technique with this, but I split it down the middle here instead of, well, they're both split down the middle. So in some ways I reduced this to this, and now reduced it to this. Okay, now our center should be evenly distributed, and we'll just do 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3. And that's it. So that's a very simple solve of the 6-layer tetrahedron, and you should be able to do any number of layers beyond this. It's like the difference between doing a 4x4 and a 21x21. Doesn't really matter. It's the same kind of process. The only thing that's a challenge is getting these centers in. Because like I say, once you've got these all squared away, once you have the technique of solving these, then you should do any number of tetrahedrons, including the king of all tetrahedrons, the 7-layer version of this, where it's just a matter of getting massive amounts of center reduction, edge reduction, and just solving it just the same. As much as I would love to do this, this is the only turn of this puzzle that I can consistently do without fearing breaking it apart. It's a fascinating puzzle, but again, it's more of a showpiece because any of these other pieces here between alignment issues is going to be an issue. Plus, you can see that every time I turn it, it looks like I'm buckling some of these pieces over here. Plus, this popped out and I can't seem to find it. Ooh, I found it. Anyway, there it is. Maybe someday I'll try to give this a scramble once I'm more assured of the stability. So let me know what you think. If there's any other questions regarding the tetrahedrons, but what I wanted to go through is a classification scheme based on the Platonic and Archimedean solids, their duals, their truncations, and their correlations. More theory on cubes in the future as we start to roll towards, well, where it all fits in with the collection. But what I find fascinating about this, when starting with the most basic of the Platonic solids, is to look at the correlation of these puzzles with how they fit together. Whether they're Archimedean solids, which are truncated versions of the Platonic solids, and some of the Platonic solids are extreme truncated versions of the other Platonic solids, and how the duals function together as well. It's basically geometry in motion, which is ultimately, I think, the appeal of these twisty puzzles. To be able to take a piece of this math, a piece of this geometry in your hand and watch it emerge as puzzles that can actually be twisted, turned, and solved. Thanks for watching.